To start us off today, we're going to head off to Route 4 in order to explore what little we can explore of the area right now. And as this hiker is pointing out, once again, no change from Black and White 1. The darker sand is where you can encounter wild Pokémon, so avoid if you don't want to encounter wild Pokémon. Or you can just run straight through it if you do want to run into wild Pokémon. So while I'm clearing this area, something that I should have talked about a bit sooner, I guess, is the Sing Eevee event that's going to be in Japan, starting at around mid-July, I think. So yeah, Sing Eevee, doesn't that just excite you? Me, I'm not excited, and it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I find Eevee to be quite overrated. I mean, seriously, they quit making Pikachu events, and then they start making tons of events of a Pokemon that's almost as overrated. Yeah, way to ruin my wishes, guys! I mean, why can't we get something cool once in a while, like, I don't know, Stone Edge Drillbur? Why not? Just kidding, that would be the stuff of nightmares, God. If Excadrill ever had Stone Edge, just watch is gonna get it in Gen 6, making my comment completely obsolete in a matter of months. But yeah, Sing on Eevee. Not a winning combination by any means. I mean, Sing already sucks the big one. It's got 55 accuracy. That isn't nearly enough for anyone to consider using it. I mean, Leafeon already has Grass Whistle, and when's the last time you saw... Well, I would say when's the last time you saw Leafeon, but the point is, when was the last time you saw Grass Whistle Leafeon? And, I've never seen one, ever. So, and you want to know what? Low accuracy isn't the only problem with Sing on this Eevee. It's also incompatible with Egg moves. It's also incompatible with Dream World abilities. Which, no. Just no. Maybe if they gave it Flare Blitz, maybe it wouldn't go over like a fart in a church, but anyway. These things that this guy is talking about that are over there, these are not boulders. These are actually crustals. As you may recognize the patterns on the rocks that is typical of crustals. So yeah, we're going to have to come back here later in order to clear that roadblock. And of course, the trigger is beating the gym leader of the place, which is Burp, which we're going to go to right after we're done clearing this part of Route 4. By the way, Sandstorm in this area. As I recall, my Drillbur has Stand Rush, doubling its speed. I don't think I need anything in the way of extra speed in this in these circumstances where, you know, my Drillbur is level 29 and everything's like 16, 17, 18. So, yeah, I made the parallel between Sing Eevee and all those Pikachu events. They basically serve the same purpose. They're basically collectors, items, and absolutely nothing more. I mean, seriously, did they really think Sing was going to suddenly revolutionize the way, evolutions are being played right now? Just watch as something happens and Sing suddenly becomes bog standard on Umbreon, but I wouldn't bet anything on that happening. And by the way, something that I failed to mention last time as I was doing the Royal Unova, the ticket may seem a little expensive at this point in the game. It costs $1,000, but trust me when I say, and you saw it last time, you can recoup the cost pretty easily just by fighting the trainers. In fact, you can get a pretty nice net profit on this, especially when you go in there in the weekend. I don't make any guarantees if you go there on weekdays because of the fact that there are less trainers on weekdays. So, I'm going to be hitting level 28 with this Petilil right there. So this means no more level ups until it evolves. Aromatherapy, well, it might be interesting in the gym if I ever run into any venipedes and stuff like that like to poison me, but I'm going to pass because that would imply sending out Petilil against bug types, which is not a very good life choice. So, the item over there is a Mystic Water. Yeah, by the way, this is why I chose the Charcoal when given the choice back in Castelia. It's the fact that you get a Charcoal and a Miracle Seed in Castelia to start with, and you get a Mystic Water here. So, at this point, I already got all 3 items, so the choice was basically for a second copy of one of the items, and Charcoal was slightly more beneficial to me in the short term, which was why I decided to pick it. So, we are now completely done in Castelia, except for the gym, which is full of bug types, and the puzzle here has changed a lot since the last time we were here. The gyms that you revisit in this game have different puzzles compared to the first one, aside from Nimbasa, which has none. But we're going to get to that later. I got my free fresh water out of the way. So yeah, you travel in this gym by going inside the cocoons, and you basically end up at various places depending on which cocoon you enter and how. So that one over there is the shortcut to Berg, which is only accessible from Berg's room. Now heading over there will put you right there. So, yeah, if I trust the way the cocoons are linked, they both basically lead to the same place. Both entrances of the downstairs cocoon, I mean. Well, I say downstairs. Maybe I should say down silk? I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to call it, but once I'm done fighting this guy, I'm just going to check it out to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I'm kind of paranoid about these things. But anyway, one thing that I said a few videos ago that I really should talk about, because I haven't done so in 7 Pokemon Let's Plays yet, is obedience. I've never had a chance to show you what happens when a Pokemon disobeys you, because Pokemon that you get yourself will always obey you, and those you get in trades will obey you depending on the badges that you have. So, as a result, and yes, this guy here is telling us basically the trick to this gym, so I'm just going to head over to that one in the middle, make sure that it sends me back down there. Yep, so there's nothing to worry about. I'm not missing out on anything. So, as I was saying, Pokemon that you get in trade will only obey you every once in a while if you don't have the proper badge. So, for example, if I were to import a team full of level 100s from another game, it wouldn't work as well. At least that's what was intended, but I'm gonna get into why this doesn't work in a bit. But yeah, what would happen is that sometimes the Pokemon would use the move that I commanded to use. Some other times it's going to use another move entirely, and some other times it's just not going to do anything at all, and sometimes it will even fall asleep on its own, which is pretty bad, of course. Now, the reason why this doesn't work as well as they probably intended is because we're still talking about level 100 Pokemon that will obey you every once in a while. And let's take, for example, I'm facing a level 20 Swadloon. What the fuck is it going to do to a level 100 Reshiram or something like that? Even if that Reshiram disobeys for 10 turns straight, then falls asleep, then disobeys for 5 more turns, I can guarantee you that the Reshiram will still be above not above half health, probably above 80% health. even after all this time when Reshiram finally decides to obey. And I'm just making up a catastrophic scenario there. I don't know the percentages of, the odds of your Pokemon obeying you if it goes down as the Pokemon level goes up or something like that. I'm not entirely sure on the mechanics because I haven't had this happen to me in a long-ass time, and even when I did, I didn't take the opportunity to experiment with it. And I know for a fact that Bulbagarden does not have any kind of percentages or rates of obedience and stuff like that. One thing to note, though, is that in Generation 5, all badges will increase the level up to which Pokemon will obey you. And this is different from the other generations where only 4 badges out of 8 would do anything in that department. And I guess the reason why they did that this way for Generation 5 was because badges no longer enable you to use HMs. You can now use HMs whenever you want. If, for example, you want to trade in Black and White 1, if you want to trade like a water-type Pokemon that knows Surf, head over to like Route 17 and grind a lot on these high-level Basculins, at least for that point in the game. There's nothing stopping you! And then you can move on to fight the trainers, though you have to be careful because I remember one of them has a Darmanitan, so you want to be extra careful with that. But you can potentially show up at the first gym with your starter like at level 40, something like that, which would be completely ridiculous, but it's doable if you just import something that has Surf and that's able to survive those Pokemon that even the lower level Basculins are going to annihilate your starter if you do that at this point in the game. So I guess this is how you'd have to do it. You'd also have to be wary of obedience if your imported Pokemon has too high of a level. And I'm just rambling on at this point. I was talking about obedience, somehow got carried away on the subject of HM requirements, and then somehow went full circle back to obedience. Yeah, don't ask how I did it, and oh, well, that didn't do a whole lot, so this means that heading over there will lead me straight to Berg. Yep, that's right. So, I'm just going to show you one thing before we're done for today. Over here, you can open up the shortcut that leads back to this room, so you can head back and heal if you want to. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that off screen, so next time on Pokemon Y2, we will be fighting the 3rd gym leader, Berg!